Good morning, students. Today we are going to take up Chapter 6, Part B. Part A was mere introduction of what exactly is staffing and its correlation with human resource. Now, in this, we'll be taking up staffing process. In this, we'll be taking up staffing process where we say it starts with estimating manpower requirement, then recruitment, then selection, then placement, then induction and orientation, then training and development, then performance appraisal, then promotion, transfer, separation, and compensation finally. There might be minor variations in the sequence in certain cases with their own justification. We are moving as per the requirement of CBSE. Now, as you could see at the bottom, point 2, 3 and 6, that is recruitment, selection, training and development, will be doing in detail separately in separate parts because it is included in detail in your syllabus. Rest will be doing as per the requirement of CBSE only. Coming down to the first one, manpower planning or manpower requirement, what we say. An organization needs to decide what quality of people and what quantity you need. That is, we say workload and workforce requirement. And as you could see, the quantity part, it depends on various factors like there might be certain employees who would be resigning for better option. There might be some who would be going for normal retirement. There could be other reasons like accident cases because of which a person might not be in a position to continue the job. So keeping into consideration all the future probabilities, the expansion program of the company, according to which you would be requiring more people. Now, these factors will decide the quantity, and of course when we talk of quality, what skills, hard skill, soft skill you need in the concerned people, and accordingly we go for job analysis, job description, job specification. When these two are done, we specify the first step of staffing, that is manpower planning or manpower requirement is to be stated. Then coming to the second step, recruitment. This will be taking in detail the sources and its merits, demerits. Immediately after this, that is in part C. Process of recruitment is not in the syllabus of CBSE, so I have not touched that. Now, recruitment is positive in nature. It involves searching for prospective candidates and stimulating them to apply for the job. It aims to create pool of candidates. Now, for example, a company might be looking for candidates, but the vacancy that they had advertised was not in a proper newspaper or not properly presented, and people who were unemployed and actually looking for the job also after seeing that particular ad were not motivated to apply. So recruitment is more of putting yourself properly in market to get more and more of applicants so that you can work on them and get the best. So working on creating that pool of candidates is recruitment. Next we come down to selection. As you could say, out of the crowd of those candidates, you're picking up one whom you feel is the most eligible and rejecting the others. Rejecting means it is negative in nature and involves the rejection of less eligible candidates through series of steps and coming to the final decision of accepting the best. Here, a word of caution. Selection process is also in your syllabus. Selection process is also in your syllabus, and most of the students who go for not mugging up one night before exam, they're so much tensed that seeing the process from starting chapter, they start writing whatever is in their mind, and the worst part is at times they club the both. They club both staffing and selection. And you don't get marks on that. You don't get marks. So selection will be doing separately. It's negative in nature. Next we come down to, once you have selected, you have to place. That is placement. Putting right person at right job for which he or she is being selected. For example, when we have candidates, we need teachers with the same qualification, but through the series of tests that we have taken, we decide which level, senior secondary, primary, where to place the job, teacher. And accordingly, we fix. So placement is done. That is putting right person at right job for which he or she is selected. Then is induction and orientation. Induction and orientation. Please, few years back, there was again a change in the curriculum where induction was taken as a separate part of training. There is a very close correlation in between induction and orientation. Induction is a process of joining a profession, learning specialized knowledge and skills which are accepted and expected, both. It is expected and being accepted as a professional. This induction could be both for new personals joining the organization as well as existing for the new assignment. Whereas when we say orientation, that means it is for the new employees where we are welcoming them, making them comfortable with the environment of the organization, helping them to understand the organization, and telling them what expectations the organizations has from them, and the socialization process. The socialization process. In 90% cases, you will find induction and orientation program is taken up together. Is taken up together. So this is to be done immediately after the placement. Then this part, training and development, again we'll be doing in detail, where training is getting skills to improve the efficiency, ability of the employee, whereas development is a step higher than training, where it is improvement of a person as a manager with overall abilities which will help to achieve the objectives of the organization. And education is one step further ahead of development. So normally earlier it was training, development, education in the syllabus. Now it is training, development to be taken up. We'll take this in detail with on-the-job training and off-the-job training in our part E. In part E. Then, once you have been trained, you are ready to work and people will be evaluating you. People will be evaluating you on your performance. So this performance appraisal is to be done. From this performance appraisal, your compensation part is to be seen that what exactly should be your remuneration, other benefits in the form of stock options to retain qualified candidates. So we consider both monetary, non-monetary incentives in the form of company. Then is we are thinking and looking for one step ahead in terms of the status of the personnel. Status of the personnel. Now, most of the books only take promotion, but we cannot overlook demotion. We cannot overlook demotion. They both are vertical. They both are vertical movement. Promotion we are uplifting, demotion we are putting one step below. This could be in the benefit of the employee only, at times due to health problem, when the candidate is not in a position to continue with the existing position. We safeguard his interest and demote him so that at least he can continue with the job. For example, a mining engineer, aeronautical engineer, after a particular age develops problem of lungs, cannot go for flight, cannot go in mines. He is given ground duty, a job which is of a less risk, and there is transfer which is horizontal. We are shifting you from one platform to other. Now, these two can be in combination also, and usually it is in combination. Transfer come promotion, transfer come demotion. If you are demoted, you will never like to be at the same place. Your morals would not allow. So best is we take care of the sentiments of the candidate. We demote him to secure his job, and at the same time we transfer so that at the new place he will start from the scratch. And last option, which rarest of the rare case, which we do take up if required, is separation detachment. It could be a normal procedure also of superannuation voluntary retirement. It could be a forced one also. Now, with this, your staffing process is complete. Now, never hire someone who knows less than you do about what he is hired for. I'm sorry, this quotation has gone for a bit of cutting part in the presentation. I would be reading it out once again so that you can be thorough with it. Uh, this goes with the quotation that never hire someone who knows less than you do about what he is hired to do. Thank you. We concluded it.